Okay, now that we've set up our account, we just want to get to know some of the really basic features. So I just want to point out to you that there's a setup section and there's a draw section of your program. The setup section, everything you put in there happens once. Everything you put inside the draw section happens over and over again, many times per second. And that's going to be useful for when we create animations. But let's do a couple of really basic things first. Let's change our canvas size. Let's make it a little bit smaller, 300 by 300. And let's come down to the draw section and let's create our very first shape. So we'll make it a rectangle, and we're going to put the center of that rectangle in the X is 100, the Y coordinate is 100, the length of the rectangle, I'll make it 50, and the width is 30. Now I'm going to try that. The way you execute your program is you just press the play button and we'll see what happens. And there's my rectangle. Now, if you think that's a little bit dull, you don't like grey, what you can do is you can fill your rectangle with a colour. And you do that using the fill command. Now, the fill command wants you to type in a colour. And the colours are given by 3 numbers. Red, green, blue. So there's a number for red, a number for green, and a number for blue. Now the maximum number you can put is 255 and the minimum is 0. So if you want your rectangle to be just red with no green and no blue, you would put it like this. So let's give it a try. There it is. Now let's say you want a mixture of red and blue. You can put the 255 there, press run, and we have a mixture of red and blue. Now, interestingly, if you have all 3, it becomes white, because in the RGB red, green, blue system, equal red, green, and blue gives you white. Okay, now I think for my rectangle, I'd like to have it blue. So I'll put that back to 0 and I'll run that. And sure enough, it's blue. Now, also my background is a bit boring, it's grey. So I'll change the background command to be, let's say, yellow. Now, yellow is a mixture of red and green with no blue. And there we are. Now, it's not just rectangles that we can do lots of different shapes. So I'm going to do a circle. And for the circle, it's the X and Y coordinates of the center. So I'll move this down the screen a bit, 200, 200. And I will make the size of the circle, which is the diameter, I will make it 40. Now I'll give that a go. And there it is. So because I've used the fill command of blue, that's why it's made the circle blue. Now you can change these numbers as much as you like. Now, one interesting thing that I'd like to point out is that the 0, 0, so X is 0 on the left-hand side and goes all the way up to 300. The 0 for the Y, it's a little bit different to maths, but the 0 for the Y is also up in this top left-hand corner. And as you go further down, the Y increases. So if I want to move my circle down, I would increase the Y value for the center, just like this, and you'll see that it's moved down. Now that's all I'm going to do for today's lesson.